Well, happy Friday, everybody. You know what they say about Fridays? Yep, no such thing as a bad Friday. Just like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still good. So, you should have the vectors and introduction worksheet in front of you right now. I just want you to focus on the four boxes at the bottom of the page. First one is equality of two vectors. Well, first we have to get to the simulation. So we have to go to Google, type in PhET vectors, and click on this first one right here, vector addition, PhET. And when it loads, we can just click on this triangular play button in the middle of the simulation there, and it should load your simulation right up. So again, we can look at number 2. So the box there, number 2, says equality of two vectors. It says two vectors that have the same magnitude and direction are said to be equal. Magnitude just means the length. Magnitude is how much. So if we drag this vector there, and we drag this vector here, we see that, well, the angle is 84 degrees, and the length is 10 for that one, as well as this one. They're both the same. Well, these are equal vectors. So you guys can sketch those two vectors right there being equal, and then, sketch your own vector next to it. If you go down to number 3, number 3 says two negative vectors. So that's at the bottom of the page, those bottom two boxes. It says these are two vectors that have the same magnitude and are in opposite direction. Well, same magnitude means same length. Opposite direction means just the opposite direction. So it's easy if we take this one and maybe we want to do a length of 12. So we see if we click on this one, it has a length of 12 and an angle of 90 degrees. Well, we want this to have a length of 12, but we want the angle to be not 90 degrees, but just opposite of 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees. So we're at 11, we can get it to 12. Now we can say these two vectors are negative, same length but opposite direction. And we can scrap these now that we're all done. So flip your packet now to the second page, and we'll let you do 4 and 5 on your own, but we're going to skip down to 6 where it says we're adding vectors. And one of the big things about adding vectors is you want to do it tip to tail. So the tip is the arrow portion of the vector, and the tail is the plane end of the vector. You can think of it as that. Well, if we go down to the second example there, we see we have a little vector like this, and we have a long vector like approximately that. So again, find this on the bottom of the page, there. Well, again, we need to add these tip to tail. So, good, no good, that's tip to tip. Good, that's no good, that's tail to tail. Well, tip to tail would be something like this. The tip of one to the tail to the other. And then we can show the sum. And if you drag the sum over here, we see, oh yeah, well there's the sum. It's the two vectors added together. And that's what we're doing for the rest of this packet here. And I challenge you to get to the last one where there's actually 3 vectors. So you actually have to add 3 of them all tip to tail in there. Well, thank you, everybody. That's it. Have a great Friday. Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. Okay, take care. Be safe.